Okay, let's try this again. It's chipped off on me. All right, this is the STEELER Rev. Okay, here we go. I think they might have struck gold again, like they did last year. And you have to really look at it and parse it out a little bit to understand the logic behind the draft and the people that they drafted and to get the sense of it. You have to look at it for more than just somebody you like. The draft is not a popularity contest, even though in some instances they make it into one. All right, but here we go. The first pick was the kid Derek, whose mom passed. The kid's a beast. He's a big guy. He's comparable to Cam. Excellent choice. He's a little bigger than Cam. He even looks like Cam. And Cam is going to mentor him a year or two. I think Cam got a couple of years left in him. But Cam gets injured every year, nagging injuries. And that's what happens with age, you know. And he still comes back being a monster. He still commands 2 or 3 blockers and handles it. So there's no shade on Cam whatsoever. He's the heart and soul. Yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. And will be for another year or two, for sure. All right, then you got the next guy, Caleb Johnson, the running back that they got in the 3rd round, because they blew that 2nd round pick. This kid is 6'1", 224, 234. You look at the tapes, look at the videos of his running style. He's Najee. He's just like what Najee was. He will hit people. He'll lower his shoulder and go. He cuts through those holes. He finds the hole. And that's something Najee stopped doing. He did it at first, and then he stopped doing it. And once he got that, and I said this all through the season, and y'all to actually follow me. If you do, you know I got a little bit of sense. Najee never recovered from that Liz Frank all the way. He really didn't. And that's a fact. He never really fully recovered from that. And he couldn't find the holes. He was a straight ahead runner. And 2 yards a carry, 2 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards. It's a wonder he made 1,000 yards. And to be serious, they talking about, oh, he made 1,000 yards every season. If you can't make 1,000 yards and you're a featured back in a 1st round draft pick in a 17-game season, then you ain't worth a damn, to be honest. So there's no great shakes for what he did. Just made it over 1,000 yards. That's no incredible feat. You got 17 games. That means you don't got to get 100 yards in but 7 of them to get 1,000. I mean, 10 of them to get 1,000. That's 7 games that you could have got under. And he got more games than that. So he's really, Najee he didn't never recover from that Liz Frank. I had a Liz Frank injury, so I know what it's like. And to this day, it bothers me. Right now, it's bothering me. So, yeah. This kid finds the hole and cuts through it. He breaks into that hole immediately. He explodes through the hole. And that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what Najee, they was looking for him to do what he did in college. He's not doing it. And it's as simple as that. And he got to come because look who they drafted on his new team. Yeah. So, okay, Najee, we going to find out. It's like the rest of the guys that lead the Steelers. Aren't too many that come into a better circumstance, especially somebody who the game plan is geared for around their style or their alleged style or their former style. Najee. All right, Le'Veon. Even Juju. Yeah. They found out life's better to stay where you at. All right. Then comes Jack Sawyer, the kid from Ohio State, the linebacker, 6'4", 260. He's a big kid. And they got these linebackers. These guys are Levon Kirkland sized guys. And I'm like, good Lord. 6'4", 260. And he's a TJ clone. He plays like TJ. And I'm looking at this like they're going to have the same thing they're doing with Cam. Because Cam and TJ say they don't want to play for nobody else, but they'll keep re-signing as long as Tomlin's there. They have that in their contracts, actually. I know TJ does for sure, and Cam has said it. That's who they want to play with. So there's that. But Tomlin, ooh, I've been supportive of you from the day you stepped foot on this facility. But you're making bad decisions, and you need to dig yourself this year and humble yourself. You need to hire some real coaches that actually played the game, that got some fresh ideas. I don't believe Arthur Smith is what they need because he's old school and this is a new wave game now with new schemes, and he doesn't have any new schemes. He needs a new playbook, especially with the weapons he's got now. There's no excuse. And Falatanu will be back now. So yeah, everybody's fresh, and they finally got rid of that albatross over there at right guard, that revolving door. So yeah, they got the tools now, and they'll have Broderick on the side where he belongs. Yeah, they're loaded right now with talent. It's a matter of technique being taught. They need some position coaches that'll teach technique. Spend some of that damn money. I don't care, because you got to bring it to get it. You can't kick it if you ain't got nothing to kick it with. You know, and I'm talking about ass, in case y'all was wondering. You got to spend some money. And that means on his coaching staff too. And get some innovative younger guys or medium-aged guys that have been around that have new ideas, that can create different. You need a new playbook. Everybody knows what you're going to do. They laugh about you. They joke about it. We're becoming a laughing stock. We can't do the same stuff we used to do. The key is to do what we traditionally did, but have it sprinkled in with new stuff and get a gentle balance of that. But it's got to be a lot more new plays. We need a new playbook. And Arthur Smith is not the guy to do it. I'm sorry. Terrell Austin, he's not a real defensive coordinator. He's just not ready. His bread ain't done. We blew it last year. We should have hired Mike Vrabel for that. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. And that's what we do. We blow a lot of good players. We let Beast 2 go last year. Tyler Boyd. I used to call Carter Beast 1 and him Beast 2 when they were at Pitt. And he was a possession receiver, and that's what we needed. We needed that. Turns out I was right about Russell. He can't see over them big linemen, so he can't throw the ball. He's threw all them interceptions, because he can't. And he's not quick enough to roll out. These young guys is big, they're fast, and they was knotting him up. So yeah, I was right about that too. I think I might know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Everything I said happened, so you tell me. Maybe you need to go back and watch some of my other old videos, and you'll see. Okay. They messed up with Russell Fields. They should have kept him and let him know he was the man. We could win with him. We could have went to the playoffs. We could have went further in the playoffs, so that this year we could go all the way with him, because they would have known him. They've been talking about the ball, his throws. He made some fantastic throws to George Pickens and to to Austin. He made some great passes. So I ain't trying to hear that noise. He's a good kid, and he's teachable, but he's talented, and they blew it. They could have given him the same money he got in New York. Yeah. Now we sitting up here worrying about what some old troublemaking locker room disruptor that's going to be 42 years old during the season, who's just not. Aaron Rodgers, we don't need him. He's odd, he's weird, and he's a dilettante. You know, we don't need no more diva quarterbacks. Yeah. Y'all say y'all didn't want Shador because he's a diva. Well, how about a 42-year-old diva past his prime? Make it make sense. Okay. So I'm looking at the backfield now. We got the boy from Philly, and we got Warren, and we got this new kid. So it looks good in the backfield. This Caleb Johnson, it looks good. That kid bounces off of people. He makes people miss. He gets into that end zone. Look at the videotape of him. Watch his videos and see what they're getting. It'll remind you of Najee when he was in college. It really will. So yeah. But then there's the Jack Sawyer boy that they got. He's like TJ. And I'm thinking on that note, they want TJ to mentor him. Look at the job he did with TJ Jr., Herbert. Little Nicky's a bad boy. And one of these big-headed pundits is talking about it makes no sense. No sense for them to draft these guys. They should have got Shador. No sense. They already got 3 edge rushers. Well, last year and the year before, they needed 5. And went through 6 the year before. Edge rushers with injuries. Okay? And then you got to remember, TJ is finally going to move around on that line because he was stubborn. Because if you watch the tape from any year, last year and the year before, every single snap TJ's on that field, they go for to get up under his shoulder, his armpit, and injure him. They're trying to hurt him intentionally. And they push up because that's where his most incapacitating injury was. And it's a deliberate, intentional effort to incapacitate him. If he's moving around on the line, they don't know who to put on him. They can't hit him and chip him, hit him with 2 guys and then chip him like they've been doing. He's got to go through 3 guys to get to the quarterback. 6 out of 10 times he comes after the quarterback. 3 guys. Yeah. And he's taking a beating and a pounding. And he's going to demand more money. And they don't want to pay it. And you know they don't. Because we're stingy and cheap. We'll give them a big contract once. Sometimes even twice. But they're not going to give him that. And so TJ, they're doing this on the business side of things. They might be smart enough to know that they can trade TJ and get first or second round pick for him. And they can get somebody else. I thought maybe they'd trade him now and get Joe Milton, which they should have drafted him in the first place. Just like they should have drafted Jalen Hurts when Tomlin wanted him bad. And oh, sorry, Kevin Colbert didn't want him. He wanted Chase. Yeah. He wanted Chase. Chase ain't even in football. Yeah. The kid that wanted to have rap music piped into practice and all other stupid stuff. Yeah. He's not even in football. So, yeah. This Sawyer kid, he's got a motor on him, just like TJ and Herbert. So, yeah. That's 3 in a row picks. These guys are going to be starters. These guys are going to contribute when they're not starting. When they're on that field, they're going to be contributors. And I don't mean just to play a game or nothing like that, but throughout the game. They're going to be just like my boy, the safety name, I mean, the linebacker Wilson. Yeah, and he's a monster too. They're gonna use him more. That's why they let Landon go, because Landon didn't always show up. Wilson showed up every time he was on that field. Yeah, he made plays. And they need somebody like that to team up with Queen, because Queen's still a beast. He came on after about 4 games. 3 or 4 games, he came on and he was everywhere, which is what he does. If you got 3 other guys on that back line, that second line with him, that are on the same page, he won't be killing himself, and he can shine, and they all can shine. Yeah, make it so that they make it hard for them, and it makes it easier for us. That's my thought on that, because they don't know, they can't use 2 or 3 guys on one particular guy, or 4 or 5 guys on 2 particular guys like they've been doing against the Steelers, because the others aren't coming through. All right, that's that's the next one. Yaya Black, another 6'5", 336, big boy. Ogunjobi spot, field, bang. Now, can you imagine? We can go back to a 4-3. Actually, Keanu, Cam, Harmon, right there. And then you got this new kid, this Jaye Black. Yeah, and he's a run stuffer. That's what hey, on the running downs. And that'll spell Cam some and let his career maybe last a little longer. And then we can even go into a 4-3. And they don't know what we're going to do, because we can have actually 2 edges on one side plus another edge. It gives us so many options. And this kid he's huge. He's huge. 336-pound defensive lineman. And we need somebody to take Ogunjobi's place. And look at that. Ogunjobi already suspended. Taking the performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah, that's how he starts his season. Yeah. So there's our line. So when Cam does sit down, he can stick around as a coaching assistant and keep on mentoring these guys and still be a mentor to others on the team in the locker room. But these guys will be able and qualified and capable of taking on the mantle. That's the purpose of that draft. Those first 4 guys, that is what they were doing, securing their future as they did on the offensive side. The lines, the trenches, where the real work is done. And so if you can't argue with that, you can argue with it if you don't know football. If you use your emotions to decide what's the better thing to do. But if you know football, from a coach's and a general manager and owner's perspective, and veterans like Cam, if you look from their aspect and their point of view, these are very wise choices. And they got Will Howard from Ohio State. This is a kid that won the national championship, so he knows what to do in the big game. He knows what to do. He's been exposed to that level of play, which makes it a lot easier. Quarterbacks that win the national championship come into the pros and make an immediate impact. The kid is, 6'5", 6'4", 236. He's Ben size. 6'4", 6'5", some of them say 6'5". He's the same size as Ben. They like big quarterbacks. He started with Bradshaw, big boy. And his quarterbacks got bigger. Hey, here came Ben. All right. Kid's got an arm. Kid can run a little bit, just like Ben. Used to, a long time ago. So before they cracked that knee. And he can throw. he can take a hit. So they got their big guy. And I think that's who they wanted all along. And they did a good job of misdirecting everybody to where the guys that they thought that the Steelers wanted, they went on and grabbed them up. Before the Cleveland and Cincinnati's good for that. And even Baltimore. And that's how Shador ended up in Cleveland. And I feel sorry for Shador because Cleveland is historically a ruiner of very good quarterbacks out of college. They come to Cleveland with these high picks because Cleveland's always got a high pick. And they ruin them. So there's that. So get out as soon as you can, son. But Will Howard is going to be a good quarterback, and he's going to be a Steeler quarterback. Just watch. Carson Bruner, his daddy was a first-round draft pick by the Steelers at tight end. Mark Bruner. Y'all should remember that name if you've been around a while. And he's a scout for the Steelers, so that's like a legacy pick. But he's a linebacker.
Screensaver on. To turn
So
the screen
there's
back
that.
on,
He's
please
a
press any
linebacker.
button except for the power button.
And so we'll see on that. He's got a good pedigree. He's got a pedigree. And last year he had some good stats. He had some good stats, but we'll see. I'm thinking he might end up being a good player on one way or another. If he's a backup or a special teamer, he's going to contribute. This year, Dante Kent and him, they got another little short guy, but kind of fast. He's a little bit, about half a second, whatever, slower than Calvin Austin and them. He's a little bit bigger than them, a little taller anyway. He's a third kick returner. So now they got Austin, they got Wilson coming back, and they got this kid, Kent, Dante Kent. He's a special teamer, good gunner. And so now they got 4 returners and special teamers who could also fill in as a receiver. Can't beat that. There's 4 of them, and they like having those guys like that, the speedy guys like that. So they only got 4. So we didn't do too bad. We got guys that are going to contribute this year. At least 2 of them's going to end up starting this year. Yeah. So watch out. I think we did a good job. Everybody that they picked is going to contribute this year in some way, shape, or form. They're going to do. I'm surprised. I had to really sit down and look at it and pay attention to what was going on and check out each and every player, including the ones I wasn't familiar with, and see some tape on them and get the sense of why they drafted them. We did pretty good. And we're going to get I don't care what the grade is. Wait till the season starts. The team got younger. The team got faster. The team got bigger. All the essentials to building for your future and your now. They did it. Now, they did blow keeping Fields. But we'll see if Will Howard, we'll see what he does. Let's see what he does. I'm thinking that's going to surprise a lot of people. Yeah, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. But we need to get rid of Terrell Austin and Smith and get some real coaches in there, some new innovative coaches. And Tomlin, stop getting people that'll do what you say do so that you can call plays. Just be the coach and delegate. You can make final decisions and you can override some decisions, but get coaches that know how to coach and let them coach. Ask them from a point of, what new can you bring to this team that'll succeed? Do that. Then we're going to let you stick around another 5 years or so, because you'll have a Super Bowl appearance and a Super Bowl win under your belt. So that's 2 Super Bowl appearances and at least 1 win. If you can learn how to do that, get some technique teaching coaches, some position coaches that actually played the game. We've had a few come through here and they get the heck out of there because of the nonsense going on in that locker room. And Mr. Rooney, you came. You're my homie. You're from my neighborhood. I knew your daddy. He was down for his players. Be down for yours, but also don't take no crap. When you got somebody that got a mouth on them, I didn't like how Najee every time Warren or somebody had better stats in the game, Najee runs to the media. If it was your dad, he would be on the bench and only used in certain instances. Yeah. We don't need that mess. We don't need that mess. And if these young guys get in there and they don't want to hear nothing the older guys got to say, then sit them on the end of the bench and give them some pom-poms and let them figure it out. And when their contract time comes up, or if you can get something for them, trade them. You know, sometimes you got to make these kids grow up. I hope Broderick calms down, because now he's got to protect the quarterback's blind side. Everything is not a fight, son. Use that aggression on during the plays, between the whistles, and not after it. You can be a great player if you do that. And with that, that's my first Steeler implement for the year. Sorry it took a long time, but things need to be said. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. As far as in the backfield, going as deep as the backfield, we got some good stuff back there going on. Drew said he can help JP Jr. not make so many penalties, because all that old grabby, he's going to catch up to you. Once you get a reputation for doing that, the referees will look for it. And we don't want that. You got skills, son. And you got pedigree. So you got football in your blood. You've seen it from the sideline since you was little. Play the game. Use your talent to play the game the way the game's supposed to be played. And to all these young players, the mystique, the aura of the Steeler organization is that everybody did their assignment. Not pointing fingers, not yelling at each other on the field, not rebelling, not complaining and bitching like you're 10 or 12 years old, but do your assignment and work on your technique to execute your assignment. And then you all doing that, then start working in unison and in sync, and that's when you become unstoppable. And then you win some playoff games, win a Super Bowl. And people start looking, and they start looking at every single play from your Super Bowl run, and they'll see what you did. And they say, we could use him. Then you'll get the flowers. Then you'll get the honors. Then you'll get the big time offers. And you can get the hell on if you're disloyal. Because kids nowadays don't know nothing about loyalty to your team. It's all about the money and your brand. And you don't know team loyalty and sticking with it and amassing playoff wins and all that. That's what gains you afterlife in football, and it's the afterlife that makes it worth it, and it guarantees your future. That's when you go to the announcing booth or the coaching staff. Just think about that. It goes beyond the field, on the field, in the trenches, to on the sidelines or in the announcing booth or in the studio or something related to the game. If you love the game, let the game love you. Rev out.